Hello, my name is Kristen Bond, and I would like to welcome you to my RRU MALAT Symposium presentation. This will be a brief overview of my research, including some context, my research question, why this research is important, and some of my preliminary findings. Let's get started. I currently work in a secondary educational context where I teach high school English to students who are what I am terming digitally immersed learners. These students use technology every day for a variety of tasks. However, on the whole, what they are able to do with tech in their personal lives is not always transferring into their academic lives, and vice versa. While I watch my seniors preparing to graduate this year, I can't help but think about the skills they will need to enter the knowledge-based economy that awaits them. I ask myself, am I helping my students gain the skills they need? And what skills do they actually need? And apparently, they need a lot. They need to have autonomy in their learning, be a part of a greater community of learners and professionals. They need collaboration, evaluation, self-regulation, and critical thinking skills. Really, they need a lot. At least, this is what current employers are demanding. And it is this pondering that led me to the research I'm discussing with you today. Digitally immersed learners need to gain knowledge economy attributes, and this can be done through the direct teaching of metacognition, which is essentially an individual's understanding of how they learn. By using students' innate tech skills to interact with digital tools, not only can metacognition be enhanced, but they will also engage in collaborative practices in a community of learners. So with all of that context in mind, let's move on to my actual research question, or what I like to call the 13 words that took me way too long to put into a coherent sentence. My overall guiding question is, how can the use of collaborative digital tools engage students in metacognitive processes? And this question led to my 3 sub-questions. What are the attributes of the tools necessary for metacognitive thinking? How does being a part of a community of learners enhance metacognition? And how can the enhancement of student metacognition better prepare them for being an active member of the knowledge economy? I believe this research is important for a few reasons, and this list is definitely not exhaustive. Technology software is continually evolving. New tools seem to come onto the market every day. And although I'm definitely one of those nerds that likes to beta test new tools, having a set of attributes to look for that would benefit an educational context would be helpful, as well as seeing what frameworks are available to help teachers with the integration of collaborative digital tools. There's also the notion of the shift in pedagogical practice from a teacher to a student-centered approach, and with this comes a collaborative learning environment. Digital tools have the ability to help facilitate this shared knowledge creation process. I also think that metacognitive knowledge needs to be more of a mainstream topic of discussion. In the circles I travel in, both in real life and online, I don't hear enough about it. Now on to a more technical aspect. My research used 2 frameworks. One, social constructivism, where it is understood that knowledge is a human product which is socially and culturally constructed, and learning is a social process. And 2, a community of inquiry, which denotes that learning happens within the interaction of 3 essential elements: a cognitive, social, and teaching presence. These 2 frameworks help to provide a clear lens from which I viewed my research, and they also helped me to sort through my data more meaningfully and effectively. This next section on methodology may just look like a bunch of words on a page to you right now. It would have been for me at the beginning of the program, especially since I'd never done any sort of research like this before, so just bear with me on this one. This secondary research is rooted in a qualitative approach known as meta-synthesis. This essentially means that I collected and sorted through a whole bunch of data in order to see emerging themes and patterns of the current research available. I then could try and interpret my findings to create some new meaning and knowledge from it. This was definitely easier said than done. So what did I find? That the pedagogical shift to teachers being facilitators of learning is crucial to help develop students' metacognitive skills, which are needed for the knowledge-based economy they will eventually enter. I also found that using students' natural technological abilities is an effective way of helping them to become more autonomous in their learning, and to become members of a community of learning. In terms of digital tools, I found that they need to be able to allow for collaboration in real time and have a social aspect attached to them. These traits help students find more meaning in their use. And lastly, I found that in order for students to enter the knowledge-based economy and become contributing members of a professional community, they need to have the following attributes. They need to be digitally literate, able to network, collaborative, experiential, critical thinkers, and both consumers and producers of content. What conclusions have I reached? What new meaning have I derived? Sorry to be a bit anticlimactic, but I'm still in the process of all of this. My interpretation or new knowledge to contribute is as such so far. When digitally immersed learners engage with digitally collaborative tools in an educational context, their motivation for learning and understanding of how they learn also engages. This process also makes them producers of content, rather than just consumers, which is what many of them currently are as they stare at their Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube apps. This idea of a producer of content means that they will actually interact with information and people in an online context, contributing their opinions and ideas and making it part of the online rhetoric. In terms of moving forward from this research, there are a few things to keep in mind. Web 3.0, an internet that will change the way we are able to access and use information, is on the verge of becoming mainstream, and more research on how this could be leveraged to develop student metacognition will be needed. More research is also needed on frameworks to help with the integration of purposeful tech in the classroom. And finally, including digital teaching in education training programs is definitely a must. So that's it. I hope that you found something of interest in this little overview of my research. I look forward to seeing any comments and answering any questions you might have. Thanks for listening.